Ambassador Zexai adjusted his crystalline form as he entered the grand chamber of the Galactic Council. The decision had been unanimous, a rarity in the Council's 1,000-year history. Humanity would be classified as a Class 7 civilization, technologically primitive, militarily insignificant, and ultimately harmless to the greater galactic community. The human representative, a small bipedal creature named Sarah Chen, had stood before the assembled delegates just 7 rotations ago, pleading for recognition and peaceful integration. Her species had barely mastered faster-than-light travel, using crude chemical propulsion systems that the Council's youngest members found amusing. Their weapons were laughably primitive, kinetic projectiles and basic energy weapons that couldn't penetrate even the weakest Council members' defensive shields. The humans pose no threat, Councillor Veltar had announced, his metallic voice echoing through the chamber. Their technology is centuries behind our own. Their military doctrine is scattered and inefficient. We grant them observer status and nothing more. Zexai had watched the human ambassador's face fall, though she maintained what her species called dignity. She had thanked the Council politely and departed with her small delegation. The matter was closed. That had been a week ago. Now, as Zexai floated toward his observation deck on the Council's orbital station above Nexus Prime, something felt wrong. The usual background chatter of interstellar communications had fallen silent. Navigation beacons flickered erratically. Most disturbing of all, the long-range sensors detected massive gravitational anomalies throughout the sector. He activated his personal communicator. Central Command, this is Ambassador Zexai. What is the status of our perimeter sensors? Static answered him for several moments before a panicked voice crackled through. Ambassador, we recommend you look outside. Zexai's crystalline form trembled as he approached the observation deck's massive viewport. What he saw defied comprehension. The sky was gone. In its place hung a vast metal canopy that stretched beyond the horizon. Massive structures, each easily the size of a small moon, floated in perfect formation above every major Council world visible in the system. They cast shadows that plunged entire continents into artificial twilight. Impossible, Zexai whispered, his voice creating harmonic frequencies of disbelief. His communicator crackled again. This time the voice was human. Greetings, Galactic Council. This is Fleet Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Defense Initiative. The same voice, the same ambassador who had stood humbly before them just days ago. But now it carried a steel edge that made Zexai's crystalline structure vibrate with unease. We received your decision regarding our classification. Class 7 civilization. Harmless. We found your assessment incomplete. Across every Council world, holographic displays materialized in the sky. Sarah Chen's image, magnified to impossible proportions, addressed the entire galactic community simultaneously. You see, when you've spent most of your existence fighting each other on a single world, you develop certain skills. You learn to build fast, think faster, and adapt fastest of all. While your species achieved spaceflight through centuries of gradual technological development, humans had to survive by outmaneuvering threats that should have destroyed us. Zexai accessed the Emergency Council network. Reports flooded in from across the galaxy. The human ships, if they could even be called ships, defied every known principle of physics. They appeared to fold space around themselves, materializing simultaneously above hundreds of worlds. Their construction was impossible. No known industrial capacity could have produced such massive structures in mere days. You judged our technology primitive because we showed you what you expected to see, Chen's voice continued. Crude rockets and basic weapons. But you never asked about our real capabilities. You never wondered why a species that took only decades to go from atmospheric flight to faster-than-light travel might have been holding back. The massive structures began to move, not flying, but sliding through space as if the very fabric of reality bent to their will. Zexai realized with growing horror that these weren't just ships. They were mobile space stations, each one capable of supporting millions of inhabitants. Our real weapons aren't kinetic projectiles or energy beams, Chen explained, her image now visible on every screen across the galaxy. Our real weapon is something you've forgotten in your millennia of comfortable civilization. Necessity, the ability to do the impossible when survival demands it. Emergency klaxons began wailing throughout the Council station. Zexai's communicator exploded with panicked reports from across the galaxy. Human vessels were appearing everywhere. not just above major worlds but scattered throughout space, emerging from what appeared to be pocket dimensions. "How many ships do you have?" Counselor Veltar's desperate transmission cut through the chaos. Sarah Chen's smile was visible even across the vast distance. "All of them." The implications hit Zexhai like a gravitational wave. Humanity hadn't sent a small diplomatic mission to the Council. They had sent their entire civilization. Every ship, every habitat, every mobile platform they possessed had been traveling toward Council space while their ambassador negotiated. They had built their vessels to be invisible to Council sensors, powered by technologies that the Council's instruments couldn't detect because they operated on principles the Council had never imagined. "We didn't come here to conquer you," Chen continued. "We came here to join you, but we won't be dismissed as harmless primitives. We've spent our entire history proving that the greatest mistake you can make is underestimating human ingenuity." The massive ships began to rearrange themselves, forming geometric patterns that spelled out messages in a dozen Council languages. The central message was simple: ready to negotiate? Zexhai realized that in 7 rotations, humanity had accomplished something unprecedented in galactic history. They had simultaneously demonstrated technological supremacy and diplomatic restraint. They could have simply arrived and demanded submission. Instead, they had given the Council a chance to reconsider their decision. "What do you want?" Zexhai found himself asking aloud. As if hearing him across the void, Sarah Chen's image turned toward his observation deck. Full Council membership, immediate recognition as a class-wide civilization, and perhaps most importantly, an acknowledgement that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. She paused, and for a moment the ambassador's mask slipped away, revealing the warrior beneath. "It's our ability to make the impossible possible when someone tells us we can't." The human fleet hung in the sky like a promise and a warning, casting shadows that would reshape the galaxy forever. And in the Council chambers across hundreds of worlds, emergency sessions convened to discuss humanity's revised classification. Class I seemed appropriate, perhaps even inadequate.